It's so dark. I was amazing. Oh wait, there's more. It was awful. I'm back. CGI shit.
I rest my case.
It was fucking horrible. What are you doing? Sorry, we can't do that because of copyright. So, hey. So, hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to an opening night. So, yeah, we saw it. I'm here with Josh, and wow, we're doing something in the car finally. People have been asking, why aren't you doing them in the car anymore? Because I don't have a car.
He doesn't have a license either.
So, we just got out of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I did wear for the occasion, kind of. Although I look less like Indiana Jones and more like Steve Irwin. It's perfectly fine. It's not...
I love it.
No, you liked it.
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine. Yeah, it wasn't... People who have been bashing this clearly got a little bit of a anti-Disney, anti-corporate Hollywood thing up their ass. Like, I do too. But this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, full disclosure, as somebody who's made an Indiana Jones film... I'm kind of a casual viewer of the series. I mean, I like it, but I wouldn't say I'm like a big fan. Like, I like it. But believe it or not, the last time I fully watched the trilogy, I've seen most of them later on TV and shit, was before I saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And I saw Crystal Skull. Man, wow, look at that.
I said it wasn't going to work. Yeah, like
it's okay.
technical difficulties.
I saw Crystal Skull in theaters. I'm watching this thing. Or no, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it at the drive-in, and I saw the trilogy for the first time on VHS. That was the first time I fully watched them.
You want me to give you more technical difficulties?
What? Okay, well, fuck it. I'm gonna hold it then. We're gonna do it like the old school days.
We can do it like this.
So, yeah, I like Raiders. I think that is my personal favorite. It's also because I have seen Raiders the adaptation. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Bits and pieces.
It's good. In fact, it's funny, when I did Kong, I did talk to some of the people who made that and got advice from them, which was pretty awesome. But I like Raiders probably the most, like everybody else. It's a great fucking movie. Juan Spielberg's best. Temple of Doom, I know people hate, I like. I don't think it's really as bad as people make it out to be. Last Crusade's good. Like, I mean, it's kind of like Return of the Jedi, where it just copies the first one. But what third film in the trilogy doesn't do that, where they just copy the first one again, where it all loops back? But, with Crystal Skull, there was a time I hated it, but over time, I think everything up to the aliens is fine. Everything up to the aliens is passable. Your take on the fourth movies?
The fourth movie?
The first four.
I'm pretty much in everyone else's camp, where the first one and the third one are the best. Then there's Temple of Doom, and then there's Crystal Skull.
What do you not like about Temple of Doom?
Just a bit outlandish.
Yeah.
The side characters are also kind of annoying.
Well, one of them did marry Steven.
Did they actually get married?
Cape Capshaw ended up marrying Steven.
How long did that last?
They're still married.
Really?
Yeah, that's his wife.
Still?
Yep. So there you go. Although...
My condolences. He sounds like that.
But, yeah, like, and then Crystal Skull, you're just kind of like, alien's stupid, right?
Yeah, I get done when the aliens show up.
Yeah. I should point out, it's like 1:41 in the morning. We were supposed to go to, like, an early screening, but unfortunately, the only screening that was available was, like, a 10 o'clock show, and this movie's, like, 2.5 hours.
That's a long movie.
2.5 hours and $300 million budget. But with this one, okay, what's the story-ish? Without spoilers, but we probably will get into spoilers.
Probably just say the spoilers anyway. If we're going to talk about how it ends.
It's Old Man Logan, basically. Indiana Jones is retired, He's got his, shit's going off with his life. He's an alcoholic. And then, some stuff from his past comes back, and he has to find this dial of destiny, and goes all over the world and shit. Okay, well, let's just get the spoilers off the back. Shia LaBeouf's dead.
Why do you think he's calling him that?
And because Cinema Snob called him that in the Transformers 3 review that he did. So I always call him Shia LaBeouf. It is funny. But he's dead. Died in Vietnam. No, my dad did not shoot him. But...
You sure? On purpose?
There was a lot of fire in the jungle. Nobody knew. So, to the point, basically, Indian and Marin are about to get divorced. Typical, story like this.
Because they thought, useless characters.
Although I will say, okay, well, first of all, the opening sequence.
A bit long, but it was fine.
It was fun. It was like classic Indiana Jones. It felt very much like Raiders. I was surprised to see... I was shocked the Disney logo was the first thing, because you don't think this is Walt Disney Pictures. This is like...
And then Paramount.
And Paramount.
At the same time.
And then with Lucasfilm is the one that does the change in the, shape to start the movie off. But it starts literally at the end of World War II. It literally is just during the events of Downfall, I guess. That guy pretty much knows what's up. And basically, Indy and his buddy, played by that guy you see, that British rat you see in every fucking movie since Harry Potter, basically go and, grab this MacGuffin, the Dial of Destiny, which just time travel.
Time travel now.
Yeah, but hey, look. We've had aliens. This isn't look, everybody was saying, oh, great, now they're doing time travel, because aliens. It really wasn't as bad as the fucking aliens, to be honest. It really wasn't as terrible. And I mean, look, we've seen, I think Aliens was the peak of ridiculousness. This was pretty dialed back. And with that, actually, yeah, it is, because half the movie is a little, you'd expect this to be a bigger, grand finale, but no, they keep it relatively small in scale, in terms of just characters. There's not too many characters, there's not too many goons, it's almost like a pocketed version of Raiders, because you have, Indy and the girl, Sala, and then you have, the big group of Nazis, but it's a small, pocket of them. And I do like that they kind of, established that these guys are still around. They're just doing top secret stuff because, the government laid a couple of them off after the Second World War and just in exchange took all their technology. But, with this, they kind of just have it where it's a small little group of them. And they do some serious damage. I mean, they're working for the CIA, too, which are oh, wow, Nazis working for the CIA? Oh, who would have guessed? So, it's funny because we're in Toronto right now, and it takes place literally when the moon landing happens.
That's literally when it takes place.
So wait, is this, because this is Spielberg, is this connected to Transformers 3, where during the moon landing they go and find the remains of Maximus Prime, or where the fuck Leonard Nimoy was in the third one? Right? Because that's the whole point, is that they found that. No, but the thing is there is aliens, so to the point. They have to go find this thing, and the best way I can describe just sort of the flow and pace of it, I will admit it is too long. This is 2.5 hours. It almost, there were some points I'm okay, when are we going to start wrapping this up? But when it comes to, spectacle and what they're trying to convey for the final installment, it is very much a love letter to all the movies. You've got a little Raiders, you've got a few nods to Temple of Doom, in terms of just, thank you for acknowledging that, yes, Indy has seen those stones, and voodoo shit. Last Crusade, in terms of just the family dynamics, I guess in this one, Indy's taking on more of the mantle that his father was in Last Crusade. And then there is a lot of Crystal Skull added, because it does deal with, the fall of Mott Williams, and, those events did happen as well. So, yeah, there's a lot to talk. I mean, this is the guy who did Logan. So, you see a lot of that in terms of the cinematography, the color for sure. This feels like Logan. But for Disney. Although Logan is owned by Disney now because of the Fox merger. So,
it's all connected.
It's all connected. This is John Williams this is probably a better score than Crystal Skulls. So, You have nothing to say because you're trying to figure out how the fuck to figure out how to process what you just saw.
No, I'm focusing on the road.
You're focusing on the road, but you know. Oh, what did you think of the movie? What did you think of all the shit in it?
Yep.
Yep.
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
It's got those Indiana Jones elements. It's got those, you know, plays it rather safe. Doesn't do anything completely over the top for an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, like, I mean, and I do like that they do acknowledge his age is a factor in this adventure. That, you know, I love the fact they're climbing up this thing, and his goddaughter's like, what's wrong? And he's like, motherfucker, I've got a broken back, a disjointed knee. Yeah, hey, I'm fucking 80 years old. Shut the fuck up. He's literally Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino, but you put him in an adventure, and he's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Exactly. He is literally like that the whole time. But yeah, there's some great moments. The train opening was fantastic. I really like that whole chase with the three-wheeled cars and like all the different things. I will admit one thing it does suffer from. It suffers from what I call convoluted pirate syndrome, where there's too many betrayals and too many like mix-ups, especially in that scene. There's like a betrayal after a betrayal after a trade after a trade. It's something that the Pirates movies did a lot, at least like the second and third one, because like there's every other character's betraying each other, and then you have this chase between like 3 or 4 factions all after this MacGuffin, and it's hard to keep. I will admit, one thing I will say about this film that I did not like, the editing in some places was kind of abysmal. There were some poor edits.
Especially in the fight scenes.
The fight scenes, the chases. There were times I couldn't keep focus on what was what. There were times I were like the scene reminded me a lot of that chase scene in The Adventures of Tintin. You've seen Tintin, right? You never saw Tintin?
I saw Tintin.
That was like an Indiana Jones movie, but with motion capture and with Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson. Decent movie. But it felt like that whole chase scene in Tintin, where they're like going downhill in this little town with these little tiny vehicles. But it was fun. Like, there were some great moments. Although I love the fact that, you know, you have all the generic stuff in there. Literally is that Family Guy skit where they're like driving down like San Francisco, and Stewie's like, "Damn, why is there always a fruit stand in the middle of the street?" And then he just called the guy, like, "You heard him, move it." So there's a lot of that in there. It's typical stuff. And I think because each sequel, like at least 4 and this one, took a while to make, it doesn't feel old, it doesn't feel generic, it doesn't feel, you know, like typical, because we don't see much of these type of movies anymore. So in a way, they, you know, it's fun to watch these type of films. It made me want to like actually do, like, you know what? We haven't done a car chase yet, have we? Like a full-on chase sequence, like with all the goofy hijinks.
The goofy hijinks.
See, that's what I like. I like the car chases that have goofy hijinks. Like this movie and Crystal Skull.
There's a lot of chases.
Oh, there's a lot of chases. Like, and that's the best part. Like there's times, like, there's moments the movie's allowed to breathe, but at the same time, there's like moments where it's like, okay.
There's like moments where it breathes, but then it throws in like a intense moment just for the sake of it. Like,
yeah.
like the part of the movie where you can probably just check out is when they're diving.
Yeah, you know what, that was a little bit, that reminded me a little bit of, like, when they're on the boat, and surprise, Antonio Banderas is in the movie, so yeah, Zorro and Indiana Jones meet at long last. That was a Spielberg call.
Probably.
Because, you know, that shit.
But, like, yeah, like, that whole scene, like, and he's, like, being attacked by eels, and it's like...
This is where that's where you could probably go to the bathroom.
Probably take a piss.
But on my end, it was very much like sort of like the opening to Jaws 2, or at least the first Jaws, when Hooper finds the Tooth of the Great White and finds Brett Garner's head in the boat. So it kind of reminded me a little bit of that. I was kind of expecting a shark, which would have been a nice note to Jaws.
That would have been funny.
Although it's funny because like this technically takes place like maybe 6 years before the events of Jaws. Because this is 1969, Jaws was 75. So...
Come on, you could have done it.
They could have done a little Jaws homage there, but no, we had to get eels. Okay. Eels are kind of freaky looking. They never come off as, like, intimidating.
A shark is intimidating.
I mean, unless they're, like, electric eels. which do
I
exist.
have a feeling that at least people's like, nah, no, sharks already done that.
No, sure. He just will not touch anything with sharks anymore. You know, he created the... No, I'm not going to go see the Meg 2. I don't care if the Megalodon bites a T-Rex whole and drags into the ocean. Yeah, that's cool, but save that for Walking with Dinosaurs, not a shark movie, basically. So, actually, speaking of, what we got for trailers? We got Barbie.
Movie, yeah.
I do kind of want to see that.
That Gareth Edwards one called...
yeah! Fucking The Creator.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that. It's like Terminator meets Akira.
It kind of hooked me.
It's original, kind of. I mean, look.
I mean, you can see the inspiration.
I mean, the whole, man versus machine has been done since Terminator. I mean, even The Matrix saying, oh, we're original, it's just Terminator. But, at least unlike The Matrix, this looks like a better story to tell with it.
It caught my attention.
It got my attention. I love the fact that it's, now the second epic trailer in recent years where they used Dream On by Aerosmith, because I remember they used that in fucking Argo. Another great movie, actually. I did see the Tetris movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call it The Social Network meets Argo, but with video games.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit in that movie that didn't happen, but
yeah,
I still liked it.
That's another story.
That's another story.
But that's another story. So with we did see the Barbie. I do like the fact that they're doing a concept I've been kind of tinkering with, where if fictional characters did enter the real world, would the copyright holder say, no, that's our property? Because they're
talking Indiana Jones.
No, we're talking about the Barbie movie. Because it's sort of the metaphor of the whole, it takes the message of, all women are objects, but does it about IP properties, and so it's an interesting thing. I'm curious to see how they pull it off, but I do want to see that. I do want to see that Creator movie.
That's where they filmed Resident Evil 2.
Oh wow, yeah, look at that, Resident Evil 2 set, guys, right there as we pass by. Oh, there's fog too, so it's like Raccoon City right now. Oh shit, are we? Oh my god, we're gonna end up in zombie territory.
Please don't eat my ass, Paul W. Sanderson.
So, he made one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Don't get me started.
Three Musketeers 3D. Piece of shit.
How does he still keep getting work, this guy?
I don't know. Wow, that guy...
He's going fast.
That guy's gonna end up like Paul Walker. So, to the point, so the trailers to be seen. The Haunted Mansion. Speaking of spooky shit.
Speaking of Disney rides.
Haunted Mansion. That looks actually not bad. I was expecting, look, anything's better than Eddie Murphy.
Anything's, even Shrek?
See, that's the only movie I think he's funny. I don't think he's really that funny. But with, Haunted Mansion looks good, but then there's, another Haunted Mansion looking movie that looks a little scarier with, Michelle Yeoh with, the spooky skeleton animation. Which I can't remember. Did they even...
When you can't remember the title anyway, I don't think the trailer...
Not just the title, but who the fuck directed that? They don't even say who the director is.
Or, nothing.
Actually, exactly. Absolutely fuck all. But, yeah, we got some decent trailers. Overall, the movie is good. I actually didn't...
It's not bad. We'll say that. It's not bad at all.
It's not terrible. There's some great moments in this film. And does it feel did we have to have a fourth one or a fifth one? No, but you know what? I think it's a better conclusion than Crystal Skull was.
Yes.
I am with everybody else. This should have ended after Last Crusade. That was it. The sunset, that was it. But you know what? They did what they could with what they had, and there are a huge, I will admit, you can tell this movie's probably had a lot of behind-the-scenes troubles, especially in the editing is the only thing I'll say. I feel like there was probably a lot of alternate scenes cut because they couldn't decide what the fuck to do with it. A lot of people say the ending did feel kind of just shoehorned in.
It does, yeah.
Although I love it when, okay...
the last whole shot of the movie is just, kind of abrupt.
Although I'll say this. It was funny because, the time travel aspect, the whole thing is that these Nazis from World War II get the thing, and then they want to go back in time and basically, with the information they have, overthrow Hitler and then win the war because they know all the strategies and all the technology that's coming up. They basically want the atomic bomb. They want Oppenheimer before the Americans do.
Yeah, but they're not going to make that. They try not to make the same mistakes.
Exactly. Well, no, you're making all new ones. And which is what they do. They actually don't end up in 1939. They end up in the thing.
200 BC.
200 BC, and where the Romans and shit.
Siege of Syracuse.
Yeah, which I thought it was cool, and I love the fact that they see them as dragons.
That's kind of cute.
That's kind of cute. And like, there are, like, I love the fact that the Nazis are just like, fuck this. Just shoot things. That's all we are good at now. Although it's funny, you'd think that the main villain would be like, you know, I was going to be the Fuhrer, but why be a Fuhrer when I can be an Emperor of Rome? You know, you'd think, see the thing, there are moments in this movie where characters are really dumb. Because you think, why the fuck don't they do this thing with the time travel? You'd think that if you end up in a you know, a change of course, you just say, okay, I'm not going to be the Fuhrer, I'm going to be the Emperor of Rome. And then with Indy, with the time travel, you think, okay, why don't I just use this to go back in time and stop my son from getting killed in Vietnam? I mean, that's the thing. You ever notice that, God, the last...
Well, that's what he said he would have done.
Yeah.
Remember?
But he doesn't, like, follow up on that.
Because he gets knocked out by the girl, remember?
Yeah. But I will say this. It's funny how I've now seen two big movies this summer, back-to-back, both involve time travel. Because you have this, and then you have The Flash. Which I will say... The Flash actually did have a better message regarding time travel, which I think stuck out a little more. But when it comes to this, it's an interesting idea. I did like the fact that it's just, it's sort of like what it felt like Deadliest Warrior, where like they're just like, you know, you have two different timelines of warriors fighting each other. Although again, also Thomas Ketcherman is one of the Nazis in the opening, and Thomas Ketcherman was Captain Inglehorn in the Peter Jackson King Kong. And he's also, I think, like a Hydra officer in the Marvel movies. So the guy just likes to play bad German people. Mm-hmm. So he's a good actor, though. I do like him. So it was cool. I was like, okay, well, this is like Nazi part number 55 for him. So there's a lot of that stuff there in the time travel. But yeah, I want to get to that, the whole thing with the ending, because it feels shoehorned in. Why? Because I swear to God, I was literally like, oh my God, they're not doing this, right? When the girl punches out Indy because he will not comply with going back to the future, we wake up in Indy's apartment, almost how it like opens in 69. I'm thinking, was this all a dream? Indiana Jones has all amnesia.
Yeah.
It was all in his head.
So he has he has the option. He has a choice to stay in ancient Rome and become one with history. But then he's knocked out and brought back to his normal time.
Well, Doc Brown, if he stayed, Doc Brown would probably bring out the DeLorean and say, no, you don't, Indy, you're going back to your goddamn time. I've done enough with this shit, and Marty's just not well right now. So, yeah, I was thinking, oh my God, imagine if it was all a dream.
Oh, I would have.
Like, imagine, like, the whole, like, she punches him out, and then you see flashes of his entire series, and then it was all
we would have
a dream.
done the video before we got into the car.
Yeah, it was all a dream.
Imagine that.
That would have been, I would have actually kind of laughed.
I would have laughed, and then you would have, like, seen clips of us walking home all pissed off.
It was the whole series was a dream, because Grandpa forgot to take his medication in 1969. So, yeah, but it ends nice. You know, it was cool to see Sala again, John Rhys Davis. It was cool to see Karen Allen again at the end. I did like the last shot, though. Like sort of like he shows just the hat, and then it grabs it. But I did like, too, how it kind of irises out, sort of basically saying, yeah, this is the last one. We're not going to do anymore. We're just going to iris out and basically say that's sort of like Star Wars, where it's like the end, essentially. So, yeah, Dial of Destiny, it's good. Like, does it need to exist? No. But is it a nice conclusion? I would say so. Is it a nice love letter to the series? Yes. Is it a nice cap-off for Harrison Ford as this character? Absolutely. Do I think they should make more? Fuck no. Don't make any more of this shit. We don't want any more of these. I'd give it probably about a good 7 for me. It's a 7. It's solid.
I think it's a 7.
It's a 7?
6.5 to 7.
6.5 to 7. I mean, where do you rank it in the franchise?
Third best.
Third best, so since Last Crusade? The best sequel since Last Crusade.
Best sequel since Last Crusade?
Yeah. Or the best one since Last Crusade. Because what do you prefer, Raiders or Last Crusade?
Oh, that's tough.
I prefer Raiders. I prefer the original.
Probably Raiders? I don't know.
And it's good. But yeah, go check it out if you want. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Support our Patreon. Subscribe to this guy. Gotta get him back on YouTube soon. At some point. He's got to. when he gets time. But
You got a shipping container in your parking lot.
yeah, but it's good to have him on. It's good to do a traditional opening night for this, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off. And what do you go by on YouTube nowadays? You just go by the Endgaver64. That's what I've been calling you.
I just roll, man.
You just roll. He's just called Roll. Ralph. But yeah, we'll see you guys later, and check out the movie when you can. See ya.